Hey, Brian from Garage Mahal. Today I have a VEVOR rolling TV stand. So let's open it up, put together, see how it works, and we go from there. So it comes in a nice compact size box. So let's open that up as best as we can. And I'm not sure how it's entirely taped together here. I think it goes down like this on the sides. And it may be flipped up this way. Okay, there we go. So right on top are the directions, the user manual. So let's put that off to the side. So that is kind of like a tray, probably to like mount the laptop or something underneath it. You get a bunch of the caster wheels for those. You get a couple of locking collars, it looks like. A bunch of different accessories. They're all labeled pretty good. It's A through J. Very easy. This is TV 1 through TV 10. So I'll lay them out in front of me here. Some Velcro. I guess we can start opening some of this as we go through it. So that looks like probably the main part of the frame on this. Some more brackets. Say at least there are quite a few top pieces to this. All right, that's tubing. And here's another box that we gotta basically unwrap. All right, so some more of the supports. I think that box is empty. So let's start taking it out of plastic and we will start assembly. So it looks like that's probably like one of the main pieces that the TV is going to mount to. All right. Some of these metal collar pieces. Okay. So interesting how that goes together. Let's get this all one apart and see how that works. And same thing, that's a nice tight fitting piece. Velcro and some collar pieces we'll put over there. And then looks like these might be some of the leg brackets. And I think we'll use our knife. Cut some of this plastic off here. All right, so it looks like that might be the back part of the framing. And at the end, I believe it's a 50-inch TV that we're going to be mounting to this, so I can definitely closer look at that. That's that. And then the last but not least, looks like some of the main tubing pieces. Make some more room here on my table as we go through it. Okay, let me bring the directions to you so you can see exactly what you're getting into. Okay, so that's the directions. A little cold here today in Garage Mahal, so my fingers are kind of working. Okay, here we go. So page by page. That is the blow-up diagram of the parts and pieces. And step by step as we go through it. And I will be following the directions along with you. And if there's anything that comes up noteworthy, I will definitely let you know. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so we have this all out in front of us. So let's see. Assembly step 1. Okay, so we're gonna put this off to the side. And it gives you kind of like piece by piece what you need. And let me get this bracket here. So it looks like that is going to be facing up. Okay, so far so good. Looks like these are kind of like sleeves that go in over that. So we will continue with that. Okay, so orientation-wise, looking at it, you're going to have the shorter legs on the side that has these bolt pieces. And if you look on the front, there is no bolt pieces here, just on the back. So that is the correct orientation there. And then we are going to be looking for part C, which are going to be these bolts right here. So I'm going to put these in by hand. Okay, so these are a 5mm. So in case you are going to cheat like I am with a power tool, that's what they are, so you can know ahead of time. And again, putting these in by hand just to make sure we got it. Start off okay. And it looks like part C, these 5mm screw heads rather, we are going to be done using because we used them all. Okay, so should look something like that once we tighten it all up. Next is going to be putting in the casters. Okay, so you kind of have like the main post, which has a plate in the bottom, so you can put a screw in, and has these 2 screws on the side. So basically, you're going to be lining it up like that, pretty quick and easy. And then you're going to need part A. Part A is going to go at the bottom, but I think first we're going to line up these 2 screws. So that is going to be part H times 2. Okay, so let me turn this on its side like this. And we're going to get these holes lined up. And that's pretty simple. And this one I'll use the power tool since we're right here. Has a little bit of a longer screw, but then there you go. Pretty cool. All right, so that was step 1. Let's go off to step number 2. And I will put this together, but again, at the final assembly, I may end up taking this part out so I don't have 2 telescoping tubes, but you're gonna be looking for this spacer piece that goes in there. And it does have a orientation to it, so it will sit down nice and tight. It's got a little notch in the back of it, really easy to see. Okay, and we're gonna be using part B on this side. Okay, so part B, and is basically bolts and 2 little rubber washers. Which look like they were kind of stuck together. Okay, so let me turn this on the side so you can kind of follow along. So we're gonna put this little rubber piece on there. And then that bolt is gonna fit into like that. Then we're gonna put this on there. Okay. Oh, almost forgot the one step that goes up there. So we're gonna loosen that up a little bit. And then we are gonna put this other mounting piece on top like that. And like I said, if you want the full height of this, we're gonna be going like this. So I guess we'll do that and then I'll customize it to what I need later on. Like I said, I think I'm gonna keep it a little on the shorter side for my purposes. Okay, so that fits nice, and I guess that's expandable, so. Okay, so what that does is it kind of expands when it's in there, so that's nice and tight. So let's bring this down to the next level. So let me just drop my tool bench down a little bit. Okay, so this is going to be the TV mount part, and you got the 3 bolts, and they line up with 1, 2, and 3 here. So it goes in like that, holds it up like that. So we are going to find out which bolts it needs. And parts D and E, right next to one another. Okay, so again, plastic washers and that little bolt. And I think I gotta loosen this up a little bit. So this rotates a little back and forth. So I can kind of get my fingers in there. And we're just gonna mount one on either side for now. And we'll put that down straight. Give you kind of a sideways view of how that looks so far. So you'll see the bolt basically come through, and then you can put the nut on the other side. And again, it goes on pretty easy. It's just cold where I am, so my fingers are not working the way they should. Back up here, and you know what? That got a little heavier than expected. So again, this lap tray, I may or may not keep that. I don't know what section I'm gonna put that on. I think I might put this like way lower for now, and then we can move it so I can just show you for demonstration purposes where you can have this. All right, and that's the back frame. So you kind of like put this on, and then that will sandwich on there depending on where you're gonna put it. And it's looking for F, the 2 bolts in here. So F came out pretty easy. I think that's a smaller Allen key that comes with the set. And again, we'll mount that. Let me just kind of mount it low so I can kind of keep my hands on it. And that grabs right away. This one here on this side. Okay. So again, we'll probably mount our little stand here. All right, and this is your H4. And we'll slide that up a little bit. And again, you can mount that wherever you want, if you want it higher or lower. I'm just mounting it here, so for my purposes. So we'll put it back down a little bit lower. Okay, and then next step, we're almost done. Pretty simple. All right, next we're gonna measure the TV fitting and holes and see exactly where we're gonna mount that up to. So, and then these are some brackets that you have for that. Okay, so next part is mounting the bracket to the TV. This does have an up arrow showing which way it goes. Your TV configuration may be a little bit different. I use TV2 and TV7, which are the washers. The washers don't fit exactly in this bracket perfectly, but they're doable or workable. So let me just set this back down. And what I am doing is I lined up these holes. I'm gonna kind of line up these holes to kind of see what works best. Your TV may vary, but this is what I'm doing on my end. So, but it's nice to see that they give you a variety of different screws and washers and accessories to basically line up to, from looking at it, probably most TVs on the market. I'm not gonna say them all, but I think it's gonna fit them all. But anyhow, so I'm just lining everything up here, screwing that down. Make sure you put something underneath. I have some like leather work gloves I put underneath there, and then make sure that that bracket is nice. And then we are going to basically lift this into place. And then you'll kind of feel it sitting in the back. And those hooks grab nice, depending on where you need it on your bracket. And let me kind of like spin that around so you can kind of see how that sits again. And again, it's basically just kind of like lifting it up and then finding where it's going to sit on your bracket. And then you are good to go. So very nice, very easy, quick quick and simple. And if you wanted to sit a little bit higher on that bracket, you can do that as well. So you have a bunch of different mounting options. I think I'm just going to mount it a little bit lower. Like I said, for my purposes, I may or may not keep this configuration, but pretty easy to set up. And that is kind of a close-up view of how that locks your TV on. So it basically sits on the top rail, hooked in place. Let me zoom out a little bit, and then you have that lock piece on either side, and that will keep your TV from moving around for sure. So, all right, Brian from Garageable Hall, thanks for watching, and be safe out there.